oftentimes they will be abusive to their partners in these situations. Sometimes they'll physically restrain them from leaving and become injured that way, but also people with borderline personality disorder, it seems to be a predictive factor for women who implement violence against their partner.
Is Amber Heard suffering from 2 personality disorders? Well, that's what psychologist Dr. Shannon Curry claims. Dr. Curry, a licensed clinical psychologist who was hired by Johnny Depp's legal team to testify in Johnny's defamation lawsuit against Amber, took the witness stand on Tuesday, April 26th, and said she came to the conclusion that Amber shows signs of 2 different personality disorders. Dr. Curry was first grilled by Amber's lawyer, Elaine Bredehoft, who tried to imply Dr. Curry was biased because she had dinner at Johnny's house before she was hired. However, Dr. Curry calmly explained the dinner was actually a job interview with Johnny's legal team.
You went to Mr. Depp's home for dinner and drinks before you were hired as an expert in this case, correct?
That's not quite right. I was interviewed at Mr. Depp's home by his legal team. Dinner was served.
But Amber's lawyer kept talking about this dinner, arguing it was odd that Dr. Curry was interviewed by Johnny before she was hired as his witness.
And this was before you were hired as an expert, correct?
Yes, this was an interview so that they could make an informed decision as to whether or not to retain me.
And don't you think that's a little odd that you're getting interviewed by Mr. Depp to decide whether you're going to testify adversely against Amber Heard?
I was interviewed by the legal team.
And though Dr. Curry again explained that she was interviewed by Johnny's legal team and not Johnny himself, Elaine Bredehoft just wouldn't let it go.
And Mr. Depp was present. It was his home, correct?
Yes.
And he was serving dinner and drinks.
He was not serving dinner and drinks.
Well, it was at his house at his behest, correct?
Yes, it was at his house.
Okay.
One fan on Twitter said Amber's lawyer was trying so hard to make it look as if Shannon was having a casual informal dinner with Johnny, when in reality it was strictly an interview where dinner was served to them. And another person wrote, I don't know what Amber Heard's musty lawyer was trying to imply by saying Dr. Shannon Curry met with Johnny Depp for dinner and drinks before evaluating Amber Heard. Amber's lawyer then questioned Dr. Curry about being contacted by a member of Johnny's legal team, attorney Camille Vasquez, in February 2020, and providing an expert designation in the defamation case without ever having met Amber in person. However, Dr. Curry explained that she came to the conclusion that Amber was suffering from a borderline personality disorder after she met with Amber and evaluated her. Amber's lawyer then accused Dr. Curry of being influenced by Johnny to diagnose Amber with borderline personality disorder. But Dr. Curry explained her opinions are based on her own evaluation.
It's a coincidence then that you came up with symptoms of borderline personality disorder years later after Mr. Depp has been taunting Ms. Heard in an audio tape.
I can't speak to whether or not there's a coincidence. What I can tell you is my opinions are based on the results of my evaluation.
And according to Dr. Curry's evaluation, Amber also perpetrated physical and psychological against Johnny throughout their relationship. And then Amber's lawyer, for some reason, thought it would be relevant to talk about Dr. Curry's husband and the muffins he brought to her office when she met Amber for evaluation.
So the question that was asked was because you brought muffins, you said, from your husband, right? You gave those to Ms. Heard, correct?
And though Dr. Curry explained exactly what happened, Elaine Bredehoft just wouldn't drop the muffin talk.
Why did your husband get the muffins for Amber Heard?
He did not get the muffins for Amber Heard.
He knew you had a high-profile client, and you were preparing for a very long time, and you asked him to pick up the muffins, correct?
I asked him to pick up the muffins for me, yes.
Okay.
It didn't take long before Twitter started dragging Amber's lawyer, and one fan said, "You don't need to watch the Johnny Depp and Amber Heard case. You just need to know that there's been a 15-minute debate on why the forensic psychologist brought muffins to Amber Heard's evaluation meeting. Her lawyer is unbelievable." And another Twitter user wrote, "Watching Muffingate live. Amber Heard's lawyers have no case. What a mess. Just admit you were wrong and pay the man his money, Amber." Finally, the conversation moved away from the muffins, and Dr. Curry confirmed it's her opinion that Amber shows psychological symptoms of 2 personality disorders: borderline personality disorder and histrionic personality disorder. Later, Dr. Curry explained how she came to the conclusion that Amber suffers from these personality disorders.
The self-report would be things that Ms. Heard indicated to me specifically. So there were a couple of characteristics that she noted in her self-report that were consistent with these personality disorders. The first was actually my own behavioral observations of her based on her self-report. So one of the hallmark characteristics of histrionic personality disorder is sort of a overly dramatic presentation. We call this impressionistic speech. So it tends to be very flowery. It uses a lot of descriptive words like magical, wonderful, and it can go on for quite some time, and yet it really lacks any substance. So at the end, you're left wondering what was just said.
Dr. Curry also revealed what tests she used to evaluate Amber, and she talked in detail about how these tests are administered. The lawyer then asked Dr. Curry what she had learned about Amber after looking at her test results, and here's what Dr. Curry said.
One of the primary things I learned was that she had a very sophisticated way of minimizing any personal problems. I also learned that she tends to, there were a number of characteristics that were consistent with the eventual diagnoses, but some of the primary characteristics, and I'm going to try to condense 25 pages here, were essentially externalization of blame, tending to have a lot of inner hostility that is attempted to be controlled, a tendency to be very self-righteous, but to also deny that self-righteousness and to judge others critically against these sort of high standards for moral value, but also to deny doing that. Essentially to claim that one is very non-judgmental and accepting, and yet very full of rage, really. Be very judgmental of others and unaware of problems in their behavior and their thinking.
Dr. Curry also talked about the common tactics people with borderline personality disorder use against their intimate partners.
And one of the most common tactics that they'll use is actually physically assaulting and then getting harmed themselves. But mostly, we call this administrative violence. So essentially, this is saying that they'll make threats using the legal system. So they might say that they are going to file a restraining order or claim abuse, or they might do these things to essentially try to keep their partner from leaving. In the moment, again, they're not consciously thinking, I'm going to keep my partner from leaving right now. They're just thinking, I can't stand this. I hate my partner. They went from idealizing to suddenly devaluing because of the hurt, and they'll do anything to express that big emotion of anger.
As for histrionic personality disorder, Dr. Curry said that this disorder and borderline personality disorder are basically two sides of the same coin, and she listed the symptoms commonly exhibited by people with these disorders.
Whereas I was saying that borderline personality disorder, a lot of the key features that you're going to notice are instability. When it comes to histrionic, a lot of the key features are going to be drama and shallowness. Similarly, with borderline personality disorder, there's this underlying drive of avoiding abandonment. With histrionic personality disorder, that underlying drive is to always be the center of attention. Because if you don't have that attention on you, it feels similarly to borderline personality disorder. You feel pretty empty, like you don't have that sense of being or of value. Okay.
Dr. Curry also testified that after Amber's evaluation, she concluded that Amber didn't suffer from PTSD and instead exaggerated her symptoms when asked about them.
Ms. Heard did not have PTSD, and there were also pretty significant indications that she was grossly exaggerating symptoms of PTSD when asked about them.
Now, as for the fans' reactions, they're saying Dr. Curry just gave a masterclass in psychology in court and effortlessly handled loaded questions from Amber's lawyers. This lady, Dr. Shannon Curry, nuked Amber Heard's defense team earlier today, one fan wrote on Twitter. Dr. Curry made Amber Heard out to be everything she accused Johnny Depp of being, and Dr. Curry did it effortlessly and gloriously in front of everyone. Huzzah for Dr. Curry. Another person said, I love how Amber's lawyers flabbergasted that she can't make Dr. Shannon Curry crack. I love this psychologist. She is so formal and takes no sh-. Dr. Shannon Curry has a resting smug face, one fan tweeted. I love that this woman is sitting there so totally confident in her experience and expertise and absolutely unprepared to be misrepresented or talked down to by lawyers who have no understanding of her field. And another fan added, anyone else standing Dr. Shannon Curry? What an eloquent, intelligent woman. She's been absolutely fascinating to listen to and a fantastic choice of witness. But there's more tea where that came from, so make sure you check out this next video.